That's it. That's great. Sorry, Josh, just about this. Jacket off, but later it's 29 degrees, so that's 5 o'clock. 29 degrees. Great. You even got a pile up for you. Yeah, well, I don't really now I'm busy, Tom. Well, you know what I mean. Yeah. I'll help you with your can, mate, you know what I mean? Put yourself over behind you. Cheers, David. Self is being one. Bring that here. Where are you going?
Warsaw Casino one.
Warsaw, yeah, Junction 10.
I've got it, you know what I mean?
So I cut some more onions in. That's it.
You go back to the truck touch.
Don't think of yourself in the you know.
Half three.
Many of you out there will recognise these. These are an enormous selling chip. This is a Booker's own brand chip. And recently at a conference that I was speaking at, they announced that they were going to be changing the branding. And word of this got out, and a lot of you out there are now really concerned that this is not going to be the same chip. So this is the new branding, which personally I think is a massive improvement. They're still gluten-free, it looks more premium, which is what they are. They're a premium fry. It's a skin on, super crispy, but I haven't tried them, so I feel as nervous as you do. So what we've done, we've come to Worcester Racecourse. We've got a couple of our units here today. This isn't launched yet, so this is pre-launch, but by the time you see this, they'll have launched this out, and I can let you know whether these are still a superb chip that we all love. Let's go over. We've got some of the older ones. This is the new brand. Let's go and try it. Take a few of the new brand fries. Tell you what, we'll do a few of these. And what we'll do, we'll make sure that they stand up to the sauces. So we've got toppers on there, pulled pork, all the usual ones. Lots of you out there will be doing these. So probably a big question you'll have is, will these stand up without being super soggy? So, let's see.
So how long have you been using these the original chips for?
We've been using these for years and years. I mean, we spend an absolute fortune on these. They're really good quality. The volumes that we do, even if we chopped them ourselves, we still can't match the quality. So we go through we can go through tons of these a week, literally tons. So, and they sell so many of these. I mean, most street foodies out there will recognise this brand. A lot of you consumers out there will have eaten a lot of these fries. They're really super popular because they're such good quality. So this is one of the reasons why we want to make sure that this new branding is also the same chip that we got before, the same fry that we got before, and we'll make sure that it is, and we'll let you all know. So that's the basket of the original chips. This one will take a little longer because we've got a bigger basket. We know that these stand up already. So I've only done a few of those, but I've done a few more of these, so that we can do a couple of dishes and just make sure that they stand up.
And what dishes are the most important for you to do with these chips?
Probably something very saucy, because obviously they can go soggy, and the good thing with these is they're super crispy. So when we put the toppings on, even after a while of them being on there, it means you don't end up with kind of mashed potato in a tray. You end up with still crispy chips, but with the toppers on, which is one of the reasons we use these. So they've always been able to do that. I mean, you can probably see from the old one, they're super crispy. They're just really firm, really good quality. So these sound very similar and very the same. So they've told us they've not changed anything on the recipe. They've literally just changed the branding, but there is a lot of people very concerned about it. So also another great one, they did let me know, is the price won't be changing either, because they're changing this to a more premium tier. At the moment it's kind of classed as a mid-range, but this is going to be it's classed as more of a premium chip. So because of that, everyone thinks the price is going to go right up. But I had it from a senior person yesterday, prices stayed the same. So this is the original chips. I better wait for the other ones. They'll be really hot. Probably done this a bit early.
So what do you expect from the original chip?
To be the same as it was.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what are you looking for? What are you looking for in the original chip?
Crispiness, good flavour. We want skin on, which we've always bought. They're gluten free, but they almost got like a coating on them, but they haven't. So we want the others to be exactly the same as that. I mean, I love these. I'm not just saying it for sales. I really do love these.
Well, you've got no financial incentive to sell their particular chip. You could go to another supplier and get another chip.
Yeah, absolutely. We can get a cheaper chip than this, but we just won't buy it because the feedback that we get off our customers is really, really good. So it's better off just spending the additional money, having really happy customers, and then wherever they see us, they know they had a great meal, they come back. Skins look slightly lighter. Very slightly. I mean, it's minor, but...
Cool. The skin is ever so slightly lighter?
Yeah, the skin is ever so slightly lighter, but the flavour and the taste is exactly the same. Very, very minimal. Pork and the beef is just coming out now. So what we'll do is we'll do a what we call our steak and fries. So that is it's a beef and it comes with peppercorn sauce. It's in a little bit of gravy. We'll do a smoky barbecue pulled pork because that's in a sauce as well, and we'll do our cheese fries because that is a mix of grated cheeses plus a sauce, so they're all got loads of fluid. So, and we'll just make sure that these are super crispy afterwards. Okay, so what you can't see is all the staff in the background now watching to see if I know how to make this dish, which I absolutely don't, but I'm sure they'll help. No mocking you lot at this effort. Okay.
So those are the new chips?
So these are new chips. We're only going to do them with the new chips. We've done a taste test. They taste fantastic, exactly the same, really, really good quality. But what we're just going to do is we're going to make some of these up with the sauces and just make sure that, like we say, they still stay super crisp. Okay. So we have got, I mean, we don't have to make these exactly to spec, but what we'll do is, so we've got a pulled pork look. Okay, so you can see that's in a barbecue sauce. Just going to put that over the fries. Right. Cheese sauce on there. I'll melt that cheese on. Because obviously it'll look. And red cabbage, I think.
Enjoying bossing your gaffer around?
Give me a lesson how to do it. Crispy onions. Yeah. Oh, it does. Okay. we're going to do what we call steak and chips. So this is a brisket in a little bit of gravy. Really, really lovely quality this is. So we've got peppercorn sauce. We'll put peppercorn over that. Now, that's probably more than they would put on, but I'm going to do it because it's very flavoursome. I'm going to do that so that it is really soaking those fries to make sure that they stay crispy. Now these particular two have been made now quite a few minutes, so they've had a fair amount of time to have all that sauce running through, soaking through those chips, and we just want to see how well they stand up. Okay. So these look still really good, not going mushy. Try and do this. Really good. Crispy still. They still absorb the flavour. Yeah, these are fantastic, yeah. So, from that perspective, for that particular dish, I'm really happy. No changes for us at all.
So what are you looking for exactly?
So, we're looking for them still to be crispy, like that, to stand up. They've got sauce all over them. They've had a good amount of topper on there. If that was the wrong chip, possibly too chunky, maybe not good enough quality, maybe the wrong potato, and was fried in oil that wasn't hot enough, they would be soggy, especially when you add the sauce and the topper on. So for us, when we deliver one of these loaded fry style dishes to a customer, we want them to get crispy fries but with a topper over the top of it, so they need to be able to hold up to the sauce. And the fries that we've had for years always have, and there's no difference. These are fantastic, really, really good. Beautiful. And the pulled pork, exactly the same thing again. As you can see, still crispy, loads of sauce all on them. And they actually still crunch, even underneath all that. And those are brilliant. So, why is it that you get to try them without being on camera, and I have to get all the cheese around my face? Is that...
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, let me do.
I've taken the camera off James because I felt that this, it wasn't really fair that he's getting to try the dishes without it going all around his face the way I was. So today I'm cameramanning.
Right, there we go. So this is the... Which one's this?
So that is the brisket. So yeah, so that's one's the so peppercorn sauce on there. Slow roasted beef brisket.
Yeah. Yeah, that tastes really good. There's a nice crispy. There's a staying nice crispy. I mean, they're all covered in sauce, and because we've been filming this, these have been sat there for like 5-10 minutes. So if they were going to go soggy, this is the situation that would happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right, that's covered in cheese sauce. I don't know if you can hear that, but they are crunching.
You do well with that beard.
Yeah.
With the street food, yeah. You've obviously eaten a lot of street food, James, in your time.
Right, this is the one that I'm going to get all over my face.
That looks nice.
Nice. And this is the pork, right? Yes,
So this is
Louisiana.
smoky Louisiana barbecue sauce pulled pork, yeah.
Nice, okay. Again, that's been sat there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's one been sat there the longest.
Definitely got that one in my beard. Yeah, again, that holds up really well.
They hold it really well, don't they? Yeah. I mean, you can really see why people are so concerned about doing, getting the information, because that dish, if it didn't hold up, would be a bowl of mashed potato, and
Yeah,
it's just not tasty.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, nice.
So it's not going to look like a real chef. They got chef lights on, it makes it look like... Oh, I won't wear that. That's why my hair disappeared.
So these are the new Booker's brand chips. So they changed the...
Yeah, the skin on ones, they're new ones, aren't they?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So we're testing them to make sure that they've not changed at all, and that they still hold up under a lot of sauce. So that's the barbecue pulled pork.
That's really nice. And the chips are definitely holding.
A bit of steak on there.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Beautiful. Oh god, yeah. How tasty is that? Unreal, yeah.
And chips still crunchy as well, so you can't complain.
Yeah, I mean they've remade them probably about 10 minutes ago. So if they were going to go soggy, this is the situation that would happen.
This one would be the soggiest one.
Yeah.
Look at the steam. Fresh as a daisy.
And crunchy.
And crunchy. See?
I'll better get them in here.
What's the verdict?
Banging.
That's our quality and taste test done. I'm totally happy. Like I say, we buy tons and tons of these a week. So for any of you out there, I've been concerned about the branding change for these skin-on fries. There's no need to be concerned. They are fantastic.
Nice. And because if they weren't right, you would go to another supplier and you would buy different chips.
This is the thing, you know, I'll be going back to them saying, look, you know, why have you made changes to the recipe that was fantastic already? Everybody's really happy with it. Totally agree with the branding change. I saw this first. You might have seen the videos that went out a while back of me speaking at the home brand conference. This is a home brand chip. And I wasn't aware there was going to be any changes, but in the conference, the person who was in charge of the department that covers fries explained about the brand change and where they were going to put it. So straight away I was concerned. So I was like, that is a huge seller for us. I hope it is only a brand change. And then senior people at Booker's have also told me that there is a lot of customers that feel the same. They're really concerned that the product is going to be changed. So we said, right, get us a couple of the new brand bags prior to launch. We will take them to one of our local events and we'll try them and we'll make sure. One, for obviously for ours and our customers, but also for anybody that watches any of our channels to make sure that the product that they buy is as good as it's going to be. And it really is. And then I sold it, moved into pubs and clubs and went bankrupt. We had an assault outside one of the venues and we lost the licence because of an error that some of us, the security and the staff made on searching and other things like that. We lost the licence and that collapsed the whole business. So they had to start from scratch. Business wise, so we were going 20 years and we just started from trying to do better food on the market because like I just grew up on the market since I was a little kid. So my grandfather was a fruiter, his dad was a fruiter before that, you know. It's totally in the blood, yeah. And then I grew up, my parents went into market trading. We had to go with them, so I was just literally school and then working on the market. That's literally all we did. My parents went into market management, working on behalf of local authorities, running their markets for them. And then from that they diversified into events, so they became an event management company. So kind of anything trading like outdoors or in the street was really in my blood from you know, selling with my grandfather at 3.
So you do it all at the back of your
So yeah, and like listening to him and like, you know, clever things my parents did, like special like sales where they were like, you know, taping off the store and selling coats selling sheepskin coats in the middle of summer. And all the traders laughing at them. But what they did was they went, you know, basically early winter coats, and because it's summer we're doing a discount, and all they did was they taped it off the store and said, as people are looking going, what's this about? They'd come up to them and they'd be like, listen, we've got to let everyone have a fair chance of getting them. They built it up and then went, well, you know, and then people just started coming in and buying them at a discounted price. And everyone thought they were getting this amazing deal, so they were just flogging them like left, right and centre, yeah. So I was always around all of that kind of stuff, and my grandfather and all these funny little things he used to say to the old ladies and things like that, you know. It was just, yeah, really in my blood, but I was eating the food on the markets, it was just terrible. Just so bad, you know, from all those years. It wasn't it? Remember when you used to go to any event, it used to be like the burgers or something would just be awful. I think I got to kind of like maybe about 19 and I said to my dad, why is the food so shit? Like, why can't somebody just do something nice? I've got to eat this all day, like, and I was vegetarian back in those days. So it was even worse, you know, it's like some dry chips. He just said, I think it's because it's the market and you've got to be cheap, and back in those days it was probably less trendy. It was like more single parents, you know, elderly people on low incomes, and so it did need to be cheap. But I said, I think you can do something nice that's maybe not really expensive, because at the minute it's just really crap. So I decided to have a bit of a go at it. By this point my parents were running markets, but I couldn't get a pitch, because in those days especially the showman community, they were, you know, they had kind of the whole monopoly on everything. So they would do exclusive right deals with the organisers and market operators and just say, we'll pay X amount of money because we want exclusive rights on this. It was really hard to get on, because my dad would breach that. Even if he got those deals, those were the deals. Eventually Kidderminster contract came up and he won it in Kidderminster, and he said, okay, look, you can have one on here if you want. I was thinking, not exactly what I wanted to start really, Kidderminster, but it was the only option. So I basically created a pop-up gazebo with big paella pans that I'd kind of been researching, and went to Europe and had a little look at how they did it. But they bought these paella pans, and in those days you couldn't really do anything too fancy on the market, you know. Venezuelan food in a shipping container, which they just think, well, what's that? Yeah. You know, so we stuck with hot dogs, but we did award winners from a local farm that bred their own pigs, and we got fresh bread from a bakery and real onions, and we just cooked them off in these big pans, so they had a bit of a wow factor to it. Onion smells wafting out, and people loved it. We're a little bit more expensive than average, but not ridiculously expensive. It's kind of like £3, something like that, back in those. And it worked really well. We expanded that business. We got lots of pitches everywhere. I got onto Birmingham Christmas Market. I was the first English person to get on Birmingham Christmas Market when they had the craft fair on the other side. You couldn't get good food, so it was people started contacting us saying, can you come and do our carnival, can you come and do this? So we were working for councils and things like that, and then so I expanded that up, and then I sold it, moved into pubs and clubs and went bankrupt. We had an assault outside one of the venues, and we lost the licence because of an error that some of us, the security and the staff made on searching and other things like that. We lost the licence, and that collapsed the whole business, so they had to start from scratch. When I went back onto the market, and then basically we had street food had boomed at that point. So if you wanted good food, you could get it. So I had to kind of rethink what I'm going to do, and we decided to do, because I knew the industry really well. I said, look, a lot of organisers are looking for really good quality food that you can cope with high volume, but they want all different cuisines, and they would like to use one company. And although there is kind of a big push on independence, we are an independent, but there's a big push. People don't seem to see us as that. You know, we're a really tiny company, but people seem to see us as like the Amazon of street food, and you know, it's just not really the case. But we are bigger than your average street food person, so because of that, that's how they view it. And there is a big push on independent traders and wanting to use them, and their food's delicious, you know. And without generalising, some of those independents are really hard to work with. And because of it, you get organisers who are just like, I can't deal with another 10 of those this weekend, you know, and chasing their paperwork and their invoices and, you know, having problems on site. And although some of them are fine, there are lots of them out there that do create that bad reputation for those independents. So what they want is, they want one professional structured company that can just come in and just do the job for them. They don't have to worry about invoices, they don't have to worry about audits, they don't have to worry about quality or volume or running out or any of that type of stuff. So we started to build a company that could offer that, and multiple brands, and testing mac and cheese out and testing different ones out, and then creating the logos and doing all the stuff. James started marketing this for us, and it was very, very niche. There was just hardly any companies that offered this type of thing. You could get trailers, you could get companies that do everything, you know, and they've got loads of trailers and they'll come and do it for you. And there was some that were doing good food, there wasn't none. But for us to be able to build a marquee style business where we can do a square, we can do an L shape, we can do, you know, we can base it's like kind of just split the 3x3 to meet squares. So we can build it into any shape you want, link them, turn it into one massive food court, tents, everything. It's much more versatile than trailers, and we can transport kind of 10 concessions in one truck. So if you had 10 trailers, so a big logistical task, we'll just turn up with one truck and we'll just build them all from scratch. So it was completely unique anywhere in the UK, and it still is really. And because of that, the phone started ringing. We just started winning contracts, and you know, we started doing really well. I couldn't really finance the contracts because the growth was quite quick, and we were still coming out. I'd just come out of a bankruptcy, so I franchised the business and brought in external investment. It worked really well, but the quality dipped. The franchisees weren't really where I wanted them to be. I decided to buy them back out, so we did that. By that point then I'd got the equipment, we got the cash flow, and it kind of started to build up. And then 18 months ago I took operational director on Scott, who used to work for me when he was 16. He's run his own company for years. He's just very, very good. And he come in and he's restructured loads of the business operationally. So he's ridiculously organised. He's the one who planned everything last week. So he forecasts everything, he does all the stock orders, he does all that type of stuff, planning, everything, and then we brought in some extra teams. So Adam was here before Scott doing accounts. So we brought Adam in, we brought Leanne in now doing payroll, doing rostering, sorry. And then we've just started to build the team up now. I think we've got about 80 staff now, something like that. So like, you know, so we've got lots of kind of like part-time staff, site managers, truck drivers. And yeah, we've just kind of built it up. And with Scott coming in, and taking that workload off me gave me a chance to kind of just focus on winning clients rather than trying to do everything like I was doing before. I mean, I even used to pay the invoices even though I had a finance manager because, you know, and he was going, can you just let go? And because I've been through a bankruptcy, I was very, very twitchy about cash flow. So I was like very, very, you know, and once we got to a point where I felt more comfortable, he was like, it's what I do, just pass it to me. I'm not going to just hand all the money out if we need it. All right. So, and Adam manages it really well. So once I managed to offload all that stuff, I could just focus on just sales, which is what I'm good at. I'm absolutely terrible at planning and organisation. That's why Scott he essentially created his job because he came to me as working as a site manager originally. I sent him out as a site manager, and he came to me and said, make me the operational director and I'll tidy this right up. I kind of said, why does it need tidying up? He went, do you want me to be honest? He was like, operationally, it's fucking terrible. And I was like, is it? He went, yeah. He was like, mate, you could make this so much better. He was like, I think you're kind of just winning the work and then just going, go on then. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah. He was like, we're having to just try and work it out ourselves out there. And I was like, right. So I said, all right, 6 months, see how you get on. And it literally transformed it, completely transformed it, professionalised everything, built systems that, you know, take historical data and like put that into his forecasting, and then it works basically with what stock we've got downstairs and what stock you need. Every ingredient for every meal he weighed, including the crispy onions. So he knew the exact cost of, say, 1/2 gram of crispy onions, you know. He's downstairs with his drug scales, like this, you know, on these tiny little scales, like trying to get crispy onions, like 3 flakes of crispy onions, and like get a cost for it. But he did, and he got everything, costed it all amazingly well, to the point where he was able to put that into the spreadsheet. So the spreadsheet knew that if he ordered 500 heads of Greek food, it would tell you exactly what you needed. Then it would take what you have got downstairs, and then it would say what you need to order. Right. And he built that from scratch, you know. So he's done an amazing job, and he works really well now with Leanne and Adam, and they've got kind of a link. Scott does all the forecasting, tells Leanne what staffing he needs, she builds the team. Once the event goes out and goes live, Adam will then say, based on the rota that he's done, what the labour percentage is based on Scott's forecast. Okay. Scott will then look to see whether that marries where he wants it to be, and then afterwards Adam will do a full report to see how close he is, and then we review the whole thing. And yeah, I mean, he's ridiculously accurate. I think we did 70 odd grand's worth of sales the other day, and he was like 55 quid out.
Wow.
I was just unbelievable like this, you know. I mean, he was sending it to me gloating. It was like, that's what I forecast. That's what we did. Like this, you know. It was like ridiculous, you know.
It's like that accountancy, having to let go of something and sort of having that little bit of a gap between the two levels.
Makes sense. A lot of independents struggle with that though. Like, you know, they say to me like, yeah, but I can't imagine not going there myself. I mean, I've done that. Like Scott used to go out for me when he was 17, you know, so I was able to let go of that quite quick. Yeah. It was the cash flow side of it, because once you've been through that, I was like, I'm never going there again. I'd never want to go there. I mean, that changed me, to be honest with you. I fought it for a long time, instead of just going, this is done, let go. So I fed it money, and it made it worse. And then I was just like a monster that was just going down, and you just keep feeding it, and then once you fed it, and then you realise you run out of, you absolutely can't feed it any longer. You know, you are borrowing money, you're doing anything you can to get this in. Once you realise that's all gone as well and there's no more coming, you suddenly go, why did I waste that extra money? I think for me it was pride though, you know, like, because especially the problem with that type of business is it's very public. Your whole business is the public. So everything goes out on social media. So when you're open and your events and your DJs, you tell everyone. And when you're going to close, everyone's going to know. So like, well, I want to go. So then next minute everyone starts talking. And I think for me, I probably invested in the business initially from ego. That's probably the reality of it. Being too young and thinking I want to be, you know, this flash nightclub owner. And then and realising afterwards actually that most of them are really broke, they just pretend to be really wealthy because that is the reality of it. Yeah. And then afterwards, I think once kind of creating something where everybody thought you were loaded and you'd got all of this, being able to face it and go, well actually no, we've been skinned for ages and now we've gone bust, I just couldn't face it. So if you get beyond the pride, it isn't the end of the world, to be honest with you, because I rebuilt all this without having any access to any capital, because I went to them and it was like, no chance, mate. Like, you know, so you go there with a bankruptcy and go, any chance of giving me some money to put into a business idea? And they'll be like, well, the business idea that lost all that money before. So like, no one's interested, and I managed to do it from this. And actually, I knew pretty much quite early on that this is going to be really tough. So I deliberately didn't buy a house, and there was a lot of things that I made sure that I didn't have loads of assets. So when I went and spoke to the advisor about it, he said to me, well, what assets have you got? And I was like, no. And he was like, no. I was like, I said, even my car's a lease car. Like this. And he went, well, just sign the paper and then, mate. It was like the easiest job ever. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah. He was like, it'll be gone. So, hi Dan. Okay, bud. And so we signed the paperwork and it was done. And I was just like, oh God, why have I stressed that for ages? All right, mate?
Yeah, this was obviously from Sunday, just left in my car.
Oh, okay, bud. Yeah, no problem. Sound, yeah, bang it on. Yeah, you're right though.
Yeah, glorious, yeah.
Yeah, okay, bud, thanks. It wasn't that difficult at the end, really. It was just the social media stuff, because obviously, you know, people love to see you fall from grace, don't they? So just, you know, all your mates that you thought were your mates just start slagging you off online.
That's the world, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the world, yeah. So, but it does make, you know, when you can come out the other side of it, it does make, what it has done, the positive in the situation is that it has made me a lot more rounded.
No, okay.
You know, I'm not asked what people think about me. I'm not, you know, I'm making investments based on ego. I'm very, very cautious about anything. And also, probably the biggest lesson I learned out of that was probably realising that actually when you make those gambles, it isn't your life you're gambling with, because it's your company. You feel like going, well, it's my company. If I want to take the risk, I'll take the risk. And it's like, well, it's not though, because it's feeding God knows how many families. And so actually you're gambling everybody's livelihoods. So it makes you realise that you've got to be less selfish.